Hello and welcome to the Q30 News Exclusive with University President Judy Olian. President Olian, thank you so much for joining us for one last time before your retirement. So when we last spoke, you weren't thinking of this as your last year. How are you feeling nearing the end?
Well, first of all, you use the word retirement, and I can say I use that. I think about it as stepping down and going on to the next phase, and I'll still be somewhat involved with the university and supporting Marie Harden, the new president, the new fantastic president. I'm not thinking about this as my last. I feel like we're going strong towards the finish line, and I feel that we've got a lot to close as we get to my handoff, and it really is a handoff. There's really nothing that's ending, to Marie and to Dr. Harden, who will, I think, take the baton and run even faster and further with it.
You mentioned you're not going to be completely leaving the university. Do you have an idea of what your involvement may look like?
It'll really be up to the next president and the board. I think that we're going to continue some of the relationships that have been built in the state with some supporters of the institution, and to the extent that President Harden will want me to be involved in anything that I can be helpful on, I will be.
So some students expressed some frustrations regarding your op-ed in the Times, considering the cost of attending Quinnipiac. What is something that you could tell them?
What I didn't want people to forget is the long-term payoff in so many different ways, the long-term returns from going to college. Because first of all, your lifetime earnings are appreciably greater by 75% relative to somebody who finishes high school. And please understand, the decision to go to college or not is first of all a short-term costly one, and secondly, for people who are professionals in fields that do not require college education, they are doing God's work too, because society really needs them. But the fact is, there are very positive returns that keep on giving over an individual's lifetime. So I mentioned a 75% premium associated with the lifetime earnings of an individual who goes to college versus doesn't. You're somewhat more secure. In fact, the unemployment rate for those who go to college during downturns in the economy is on average 3.7% versus 6.7% for those who have a high school education. So I appreciate the fact that it sounds a bit harsh to say you can't afford not to go to college given the cost, but the decision should be one that factors in not just the 4 years or even the first job, but the next 10, 20, 40, 60 years, which is when the payoffs occur.
Well, talking about the payoff of college, what do you think has been the most impactful thing that you've accomplished during your time as president?
Fortunately, over the last 7 years, we've had quite a few milestones, and those milestones have included some great new academic programs, some student life initiatives that have led to many more clubs and leadership opportunities. We've gone from, I think, about 4 athletic non-varsity clubs to 23 today. We've built buildings, in fact, the Rec and Wellness Center during COVID, the Grove that opened this year, this academic year, and the 2 buildings where we're going to cut the ribbon in a few weeks, the new business school and the new site, science, innovation, technology, and exploration. And they enable all new forms of learning and collaboration and living and leadership and well-being. I mean, the Rec and Wellness Center is really about health, physical and mental health. And of course, a national championship. That was a pretty special moment, and I think we all reveled in it. Obviously, Quinnipiac became that much more visible nationally, but what a high.
What was the most rewarding experience that you've had as your time as president?
It's always one-on-one moments. So when I talk one-on-one to students who've had an experience that was transformational, those are absolute highlights. We're doing really well and being recognized for it. Our enrollments are really strong. Our students are the best champions of Quinnipiac. We have an amazing set of leaders on campus that will continue everything that has been accomplished. Being engaged in the community around us in such positive ways as Quinnipiac is through our people, those are really proud moments.
You talk about all the things that have been done in these past couple years. What is one thing that you wish you were able to accomplish during your time?
One thing that I think we're still building, and it's certainly come a long way, but we need to build further, is the support of everyone, the financial support for the university. We need to develop a culture of giving back that is stronger than what it is today because of what Quinnipiac means to a person in their life, in their past life, because of what Quinnipiac means to the community and to the world, because we are turning out the future leaders of local townships, of local communities, of perhaps states and nations. Higher education, and especially the experience that we have here at Quinnipiac, is expensive. It's expensive to our students, but it's also expensive to run. And we can't expect our students and their families to be able to continue to support this kind of enterprise to the fullest as costs continue to go up. So I think we need to make sure that we're alleviating the tuition burden on students so that nobody has to ask, can I afford this? We need to provide the access that is supported. And a lot of that is through philanthropy.
Now, you briefly touched on this earlier, but during your 7-year tenure here, what impact do you think you've had on students individually?
I enjoy a lot, and I deliberately try to be out there interacting with students one-on-one. And, you know, I have office hours every couple months. The stories that come to me during office hours often require follow-up and solution. And I'm really proud that often one-on-one we have solved an issue for a student.
How has the transition with the incoming president been so far?
Well, Dr. Harden, Marie Harden, is fantastic. She's so ready for this role. She's preparing diligently. She and I talk every week or two. We're sharing all the information that will get her up to speed. She's meeting with the leaders of the institution. She's coming periodically to visit the institution. She's meeting the board members. So I think it's going to be a model transition when she starts on July 1.
What has been your favorite memory at Quinnipiac?
There are a lot. Seeing how people rallied through personal sacrifice during COVID was an amazing gift. Seeing how our different fraternities and sororities and sports teams fed each other during COVID, or come and support each other during the many games that I attend. Obviously, the highs are also going to games that we win and win big and seeing everyone rally around them. Another feature of our university that I'm really proud of and some favorite memories is our Quinnipiac poll. It gets mentioned in national media all the time. It becomes a topic of conversation. It's a moment of truth in terms of political data, and I'm always proud to see our name registered there. Whenever I pick up, actually I use an iPad for this, but whenever I read national media and I see Our students cited, we get cited a lot in the Wall Street Journal in commentary. Whenever I see our faculty or staff cited, that's a favorite moment. Cutting the ribbons in the new buildings has been a thrill. And so there are a lot of moments that become the experience. And more than anything, I am so privileged to be part of an educational mission, a higher educational mission, that really makes sure that we provide individuals with the skills to prepare them for the rest of their lives, that we nurture them into people that will be enlightened global citizens.
Now, what excites you the most about the future of Quinnipiac?
I think we're on a trajectory that is really steep and upward. And I think that a lot of universities are not as focused on the future as we are. We're so nimble, we're so agile. When we see opportunities and needs and demands in the marketplace, we engage with them. We have some unique partnerships like Hartford Healthcare, M&T Bank, soon to be announced another, Pepsi. We have unique partnerships that bring the world of work into the classroom and into students' experiential opportunities. We really narrow the gap between school and work and position our students to thrive when they leave. And I'm not just talking about the first job. You know that we have some fabulous statistics on the success of our students 10 years out. And that's something that I'm really proud of, because we've built not just the university's future, but the future of students' lives. And the excitement that I always feel now when I go around with students, that people are happy and delighted with the learning experience, the living experience, the friendship experiences that they're having. And I see that, if anything, only growing.
What is one last thing that you would like to tell students?
I would say that a few lessons in life. I don't think there's any excuse or any alternative but to be excellent in one's life's career. And I know our students are that because I see them in everything that they do. So those are table stakes. You have to be really good at what you're doing. But beyond that, think about what else you want to engage in. Volunteer. You'll find that by volunteering, by engaging in other purposes, that you'll expand your own horizons, you'll expand your network, you'll discover things that you're good at, and by the way, you might find a whole set of new opportunities. I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't taken early on in my career some extra roles that people asked me to do and sometimes nobody else wanted to do. But I learned new sets of skills, and more people got to know me, and they then suggested that I do this, that I do that. And one thing led to another, and here I am, honest to goodness. Volunteer roles got me here today because of the network and because of the skill sets that I brought. The main thing is the main thing. There are going to be annoyances in life. There are going to be things that don't quite work out, bother you, and so forth. That's part of living, that's part of moving forward, that's part of growing up. And don't let that distract you from what is your main purpose. Understand how to prioritize what really is important and what's noise. And that'll make you a happier and healthier person. And lastly, don't forget to surround yourself with kindness and love. That's really important, and that makes you stronger.
Now, on a more personal level, maybe the hardest question I've asked the entirety of this interview, do you plan on picking up any new hobbies once you leave the university?
You know, I don't. So first of all, I have some things that I'll continue. I have some roles in the state and some other nonprofit and corporate roles. And so I have this suppressed artistic side. I'm not sure it'll be art or drawing. It'll be something like ceramics or interior design. I mean, people have tolerated my touches on when new buildings come and picking furniture and so forth. So I think that will become a bigger part of my life, and I hope it does.
Well, that is all the time that we have today. Thank you, President Olian, for joining us for one last time. And for Q30 News, I'm Julie Barcella.
Thank you, Julia, and congratulations on your graduation. And we'll see you in about 3 weeks, right?
Yes.
3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.